Hello, I'm Popter, and you are about to watch Crash Bandicoot in Sane Trilogy, any percent. Enjoy!
There we go.
Alright, hello everybody, and welcome. I'm going to be running Crash Bandicoot, the remastered Insane Trilogy. I will be running the first installment. I've got, joining me in the commentary, I've got Merkaz and Elk. They also both run this game. Merkaz is actually going to be running the third installment this Friday, or Saturday morning actually. So make sure to catch that as well. Like I said, first installment for me, I'm going to get right into it. As soon as I press the new game button here, the timer starts, so let's do that. There we go.
Let's go. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Alright, Crash Bandicoot 1 is actually, if you have played the originals, this will be somewhat familiar because it's exactly the same level layout. The physics are just somewhat different. So basically, there's three things I can do. I can move, I can jump, and I can spin. And I'm going to do that all the way through all these levels to try and get as many boxes as I can and die as little as I can.
Yeah, the reason why he's getting a lot of boxes is because at the end of each level there's going to be the box counter, and the more boxes you break, the less boxes are going to be shown at that screen. So
Exactly.
he just want to break as many boxes as he can, but only if they're on his path. It doesn't save enough time to go out of your way for a lot of them.
And as you could see, like early, he did a lot of jumping because jumping is slightly faster. So you want to be jumping as much as possible. But when he got the triple mask, he stopped jumping completely because walking on the ground with the triple mask is faster.
Exactly. So you heard that song in the background there. That was from me collecting 3 of this game's, I guess, shield mechanic. They're called masks. You can find them either lying around or in boxes. They're always at set locations, and I'm actually going to get a third one in a row here again. It gives me invincibility, so when my character is like flashing around and has a big mask in front of his face, that means I can break boxes instantly and just run through enemies without any problems. This is actually for a set duration, and it ends when this specific song ends.
He's gonna wait around for this mask because it's faster than moving forward because it skips some cycles that's coming up. This
Exactly. So I waited for the song to end there. I could like estimate the approximate end, and then I jumped into that next mask box to activate my second triple mask right in a row. So I basically get to carry the invincibility all throughout this entire second level here. And now I'm back in normal mode. No longer have invincibility. I'll be in this mode most of the time. You see me jumping a lot, even when I don't technically have to. I do that because it's just faster movement, like they already said.
There's also the masks. There are few levels. There are some levels that are really important to keep the masks, and if you keep 2 masks out of level into the next one, they will still stay. In some levels, they take them away where you won't have masks at all.
Right.
But especially early game here, you see him keeping a lot of these masks through.
Exactly. Throughout the first levels, I'm gonna be getting a lot of triple masks because they're just they work faster. They allow me to run through everything.
Yeah.
This whole level here is basically gonna be a triple mask level.
When I do not have a triple mask, when I'm in my normal mode, the masks kind of act as shield, as one-time use shields. So if I use them, then I don't die. So if someone damages me, if I were to run into an enemy, for example, I wouldn't die, but I'd lose the mask and get a short invincibility frame, which is also going to be used several times throughout the run. But it's really about the management, whether I want to save the masks to save up for a triple mask, so that was collecting 3 masks in a row, or whether I want to use them to damage abuse. That's what we call it. Like right there, I took damage from the spike, but it doesn't matter, because the next level deletes my masks anyway.
That one spike that he had to wait for can actually be made, but there's no consistent way to making it.
Yeah, there's a couple of like frame perfect skips here that save less than a second, which you can celebrate when you get them, but it's very rare, and it's not like you can practice it. So boulders, this is one of the 2 boulder levels. This was actually pretty short. The only thing that happens here is that this big ball rolls after me, and I mean, the ball is not really the issue here. The holes are more like. and I gotta try to collect as many boxes as possible. The other thing that's kind of critical to movement in Crash 1 is you see me kind of hugging the left and now the right wall. I keep going back and forth. The reason is that the map snakes back and forth. It kind of goes in curves. You can see that best when you look backwards to the back of the screen where I was just running. You'll see there that it's not entirely straight. So basically I pull a little straight line simulator and I try to cut my distance that I run as short as possible. Again, if you look back where the boulder is rolling now and behind that, you'll see that the best that I'm trying to kind of go with the map instead of just running down the middle.
This is the thing in all the 3 remasters of the game, where cutting corners saves slight time. It's just that those small optimizations like that are more important in Crash 1, where you only have jump and spin.
Exactly. In Crash 2 and 3, you get a slide, and that changes a bunch of things. Again, you'll see that when Murkaz does his run. So that's not important, but here the movement is capped, I guess you could say, the movement speed, and so every little bit of movement advantage you can get is important.
So a lot of the things you see will like look easier than what it is, but it is a lot hard. Like this jump right he's gonna do right here. It's a pretty hard jump. I always mess it up when I do this.
It is a common one to mess up for people.
Right there, you saw me snipe an enemy into like that. You saw something blow up at the top of the screen. I wanted to mention it earlier, but what I did was I used that fish that jumped around in front of me. I spun it, and it flies in the direction that I spin it into. So basically, I can destroy crates with enemies if I can kill them. And I do that sometimes to just make it easier for me to collect crates and save more optimal time that way.
So you saw him jump forward a bit there. That's to activate this plant right here, to make him attack faster. Because if he didn't do that, he would get hit there if he tried going over there.
Yeah, anyway, there's a couple of places where I'll do jumps where it looks like I try to go for the jump too early and then hesitate and go back. I'm actually doing that in order to activate cycles, because this game has a couple of places where cycles, like openings, activate only once the character gets close to them. So that was an instance of that. Kind of moved myself further forward than I should be in order to activate that sooner. This is the first boss fight. He's very difficult.
Yeah, you basically just jump on him 5 times.
Exactly. The thing is, though, that if you jump too early, then he starts turning around, and then you get to see his behind. That didn't happen here, luckily. I jump in the middle of him to spare an animation of Crash jumping on top of him. That's all there is to this boss fight. This was the introduction to the game. Now it starts getting a little more interesting and difficult. Rolling Stones is a level where I will attempt a cycle skip. There's a bunch of just rolling slabs that I have to get past. The first ones are difficult because I have to get past them in my normal mode, but from then on I can use the triple mask to just completely ignore them. Try to get all those boxes here, and then here I try to jump on the left of that. That usually lines up, not always though. And then on the right of these two. There we go.
It's very good.
And then as soon as I hit this plant here, I will get triple mask from the TNT that blew up there, because there was a mask there as well. And I just run through the rest of the level with triple mask, hopefully.
TNT doesn't usually give you mask, but because he sniped an enemy into it, it counts as getting in. So
Yeah, yeah. If he breaks a mask box with the snipe, like you see right there, the mask goes straight to you.
You see me running on the scenery as well here. It's basically... Oh, that was okay. Little time loss, nothing serious. I got stuck on a stone there. You saw me saw me run on the side here. I'll do it again. And basically I do that in order to minimize the amount of jumps I have to do. In this state where I have the 3 masks and the invincibility, it's actually the opposite. I don't want to jump at all. I want to try to minimize my jumps because my movement speed is fastest on the ground. So that's what I did. Alright, next up is Hog Wild. One of 2 levels where I ride a hog. The second level I'm not actually going to play because you don't play that in any percent. But the thing is that Hog Wild has, I'm not sure how many boxes in total, but Crash's full completion works as such that you have to collect every single box in a level to collect a special gem. Now the problem with gems in any percent is that the animation you get at the end of the level well, after Crash picks up the gem is really long. So I'm going to collect every single box in this level except for one. Because if I collected every box, it would force me to collect the gem. And I don't want that. So this box right here on the right, you see me going to miss it? Other than that, I'll try to get every single box. Because again, I want to minimize the amount of boxes I miss. But I don't want to get all the boxes and be forced to pick up the gem. Because, you know, the full collection runners can have all of them.
And also, you see him jumping a lot here, which is also coincidentally faster on this than on the hog. Just like Crash normally.
Exactly. Yeah, this level is pretty straightforward. I mean, sometimes I manage to die, and that's unfortunate, but usually just get through it with minimal time losses or time gains. Native Fortress. I'm actually going to leave most of the commentating to the others for this, because it's the first really difficult level.
So, this level is all about cycles, or this game is basically all about cycles. So what he did there was jump on a box to snipe, jump on a turtle to snipe the turtle into the box over him. Very weird snipe there. So that
I got
was
hit by the fire. That was not intentional, but that's okay.
Yeah, he made that spike, which is kind of hard to do, and then it is very hard to do, and then he got hit by the flame. He wasn't supposed to do that. That mask was going to be used for damage abuse coming up soon. But it's not anything major. As we mentioned earlier, this level is insanely hard.
Yeah, there's a lot of really tight jumps throughout the entire thing.
So this is where he would damage abuse and run right through that TNT instead of doing what he does now.
Yeah, because with the mask he could have just spun the TNT and then used the invincibility frames to walk straight past all that.
Yeah.
Because as we said, when you get hit you have a couple of frames where you don't take any damage after it.
So there
Alright, I'm still actually going to make the cycle that I wanted to make. I skipped doing something there, and it's actually more difficult than it usually is, but I still... Okay, I had to time it right there because I need to jump across these 3 fires. This is the cycle I wanted to make. Now I'm basically free for the rest of the level unless I make some stupid mistake. It's all about getting to the top portion of this level on time. If I manage that, then I'm good to go.
The thing is that he would have wanted to bring a mask out of this level, but since he wanted to make that cycle, he opted for not taking the mask, which you're gonna see turn out for. It's gonna end up in a different strat in 2 levels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you get one mask here that I could have picked up, but it would have added an extra jump, so I couldn't have made the same openings, the same cycles as I wanted to. And the reason I want that mask is because in the next boss fight, which is coming up here after the following level, I'd like to have 2 masks to complete the boss fight a bit quicker, because he's all about blowing up TNTs, and I can just do that with the masks. But instead, I'll just have to do it a bit differently, because I only get 1 mask in this level.
But the cycle he made is faster than doing another damage abuse on the boss.
Alright, so this is the second of the 2 river levels. There's nothing too spectacular that happens here, so if you want to read like 1 or 2 donations, then we should be fine with that.
Certainly. We have a $25 donation from Anuvin with no comment, but thank you very much anyway. We also have $50 from DDRJ, who says, "Hey, DDRJ here, wanting to give shoutouts to Worm and all the other lovely people from chat watching now. Put this towards X giving it to Leon in Resident Evil 2. And we also have one $5 donation here from Jupe, who says, "Yo yo yo boys, it's your fan straight from Finland. Too bad I couldn't join you guys this time. Hope you all are enjoying your time there. Please put this donation towards second best level in the whole trilogy. The best one is clearly Tell No Tales from Crash Bandicoot 3. Oh, and by the way, Triggerino, I'm waiting for Crash to do some swag walking in Brio fights."
Not gonna happen. But thank you so much, dude.
So Jupe is a runner of the 3rd game like me, and very good runner. He doesn't run Crash 1 much though, so...
Yeah, bad choice, bad choice. Okay, so this level, just trying to not get hit by monkeys. Those monkeys have some terrible hitboxes sometimes. Worked out fine though. We got the next boss fight coming up. This is the second one called Ripperoo. Well, the first time I played this game, it took me like half an hour to beat this boss, just because you have to jump on the TNT in the right amount of time. But here it's basically just, you know how to do it, and then you generally don't mess it up, generally.
Pretty tight timing though to
So
yeah.
I bounce on that, it takes a while to activate. Here I just spin it, activates immediately, but I lose the mask, and then I bounce on that one, and it should hit him. If I had a second mask, I would have spun the last one as well. It would have been about 1.3 seconds faster. So in the level 2 levels ago that I said was really difficult, basically if I lose a mask there somehow, then I lose 1.3 seconds here. But this was definitely the best way it could have gone after I got hit at the very beginning of Native Fortress.
So from here, the run really spikes up in difficulty.
Yeah, Lost City is also probably one of the most difficult levels here. I'm going to start by doing the first level. Probably just going to have them commentate as well because there's some seriously tight cycles I need to catch. But after that, I'll talk a bit more about what I'm doing.
So in this level, he wants to collect all boxes for the green gem. And the reason for wanting the green gem in this level is that it completely skips a level later in the run, like really at the end of the run.
Yeah, there's a secret exit you unlock when you get the green gem here in a level later on. So you're gonna see him do both the bonuses and of course get all the boxes in this.
Are you waiting here for a mask?
I missed the mask for some reason. Interesting. Well, that's fine.
That mask doesn't really...
Wait, hold on. Okay,
You
I
got
just completely messed up, but I didn't hear the bonus token enter, so that's why I went back. That doesn't really matter too much. I mean...
You can... Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. So in order to get into the bonuses, he needs 3 tokens, but this level also has an extra bonus.
The
which
Brio
is-
bonus.
Yeah, Brio bonus. So he needs 6 tokens in total. And the Brio ones are just a little bit more hidden than the Tana ones.
Could be that.
So when there's a color gem like this only goes for this level in any percent though, but when there's a color gem, you can't die. If you die, you won't get the color gem regardless if you collected all the boxes. In the original, that went for all gems, not only color gems, but for this one they made it a little bit easier.
Alright, so my intent was to get a second mask there. I don't have that now anymore, but that's okay since I only want to carry 1 mask out of this level. It just lost me some time because I would have used that mask to skip 1 cycle. Again, that's fine now. Generally, this is not very good run-through so far of this level because I even went back and everything. I did make the hard cycle at the very beginning, but then it just kind of went downhill. It's not over yet, though, so...
Also, these lizards you see, sometimes when you try to like spin them when they do their turnaround animation, they force Crash to move the other way, and that can just kill you because you have no control over what he's doing.
Okay, yeah, I did my first bonus. That probably went too quick, but this is the second bonus. This one's a lot harder. Also gonna have to focus on not dying here.
Yeah, so you will see him spin those.
Very good. That's a
yeah.
clap, by the way.
Yeah.
That's an insanely hard bonus to do.
So what I do there is there's a bottom layer of boxes, and I stand on them, then spin in order to break those boxes. And so basically Crash doesn't have anything to stand on anymore. But I still, there's a couple of frames whenever Crash leaves a surface he can stand on, where he can still jump. You also see me doing that all the time, walking off surfaces and then jumping while I'm already kind of falling down. I do that there in order to spin the boxes and then jump off, and that's a lot faster than bouncing. Because you saw the crates in the middle there is like crates with Wumpa fruit in the middle. I have to jump on those 5 times, so spinning them is a huge time save over doing that.
Yeah.
So not the best Lost City, but Temple Ruins I will be the same because I get a mask here. I want to enter this with 1 mask. I get a mask here, and the next triple mask will be very critical to save a bunch of time. This one is not important at all, though. And still trying to get these boxes. It may not seem like it's worth it for me to get some of those boxes, like that TNT right there, but it's all about the cycles. I can catch the same cycles if I get the mask, if I get the box, and if I don't get the box. So that's why I go for them too. Again, this is small optimizations.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how fast he's going as long as he makes the correct cycle.
I did actually activate this. You saw me jump very early there again, in order to activate that fire pit there earlier. It doesn't seem like it's very important, but it actually allows me to catch the upcoming cycle here. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have done that. I'm not even sure if I can make it now, because I waited very late on that as well. I jumped around the corner there. Yeah, I can barely make that. There we go.
That was close.
Yeah, usually I get there a bit sooner, and that's going to allow me to run across this fire pit with my invincibility. You saw it ended right after. If I wouldn't have made that corner jump, I would not have been able to run through that fire, and I would have had to wait on it, so that's definitely a good time save right there.
Very good temp runes though.
Yeah. I missed a couple of boxes, wasn't optimal, but it was definitely within what I would consider a good run through of the level. Yeah, this is, there's 3 islands in total, by the way. The first island is done already. That was completed with Native Fortress. We're on the second one right now. The second one is arguably the most difficult because it's got some very scary levels. I guess Road to Nowhere could be called one of them. This is one of the 2 bridge levels.
It's very infamous.
Yeah,
for its difficulty.
Exactly. And I get a triple mask at the beginning here and just run across the ropes because that's the fastest way to go about it.
Yeah, and for some reason you can just stand on them or run on them.
Kind of a cheat. I guess not really. It was intended, of course, but
yeah.
If you ever try to do this without like going very slow, just run on the ropes and jump on them in motion, never stopping your character. It's actually one of the most difficult things at the beginning of this speedrun, in my opinion.
So
I had huge trouble with that when I started out with Crash 190%.
Here you see him not...
Oh, I fell down.
That can happen, and sometimes the rope decides to be a little bit slippery and you just fall off.
That's one thing to say. It's not as easy as it looks to jump on those ropes.
Yeah, definitely not.
They look a lot bigger than they actually are in terms of hitboxes.
And you might ask, like, why is he not running on the rope all the time? It's like, as we said, it's quite tricky to do, and now that he's just jumping all the time, as we said, jumping is faster than walking, and when he's just jumping forward, that's faster, and jumping on the rope is very sketchy.
Yeah, you can jump on the rope, but yeah, it stays, I mean, around a second throughout the whole level, and the ropes are very slippery if you just walk on them, meaning if you are just a tiny bit too far to the left, eventually your character will just slip off the rope. If you jump on them, there's a chance that after every jump you're just going to fall off, even if you're centered. Well, if you're perfectly centered, that doesn't happen, but that's incredibly difficult to do. So the death there was actually not the worst at all. Especially because the masks that I had don't matter anymore in this level, they get deleted anyway. And this level is basically the same as the first level where there was a huge boulder rolling after me, just that this is about 4 times as long. Well, I don't know exactly how much
It's like
longer, but
at least double, right?
yeah, there's nothing special about it. I just try to kind of hug the corners.
So,
So basically, if you if you
donations would be fine now.
exactly, yeah. If we have a couple of donations now, it's a good time for that.
I can certainly do that. We have a $5 donation from Anonymous who just says $500 hype. And then we have a $55 donation from Legendary Marvin who says new highest donation, who bids more? And we also have a $10 donation from Anonymous who just says whoa. And that $10 donation was also put towards the donation incentive we have running for this game, which is for Triggerino to play the Stormy Ascent DLC level.
Really recommend donating towards that incentive, because that's a really cool and very hard level. So if you want to see him go miserably through that, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
We are currently at $31 out of 100 required for that incentive, so if you want to see that, then keep them coming.
Yeah, Stormy Ascent is the level that was it was made by the original developers for the original Crash 1, but it was taken out because it was allegedly too difficult, and so Vicarious Visions took that design and turned it into a level here that was added. But I wouldn't play it in any percent, I would just show it off if the incentive is met. Sunset is probably the hardest level there is. I'm actually gonna try and like go through and say exactly what I do here to manipulate the cycles. Let's see how that goes. So I jump around that, not too early though, because otherwise these bats spawn super early. I pick up a mask that's behind there. I cancel my jump early so the lizard doesn't kill me. I jump up here, spin the bats, then jump on top of the lizards and spin the other one. Here, I'm still on the best cycle. I need to make this jump over here, which kind of looks scary, but is usually easier than it looks. That allows me to run across these without any issues. They line up perfectly. Now here I'm going to wait, even though I could jump around it, because I don't want to go too early to the next part. I'm going to spin these twice, which doesn't always work, but usually does. It's a lot faster than waiting for them to go by. I'm going to wait a bit on this, not too long again. And basically, you saw me waiting there twice, where I technically didn't have to. Because I have to manipulate these cycles a bit. And that's the hard part about Sunset. Oh, I got the thing. Alright, well, the cycles are completely messed up now, but that's fine. I'll just have to... I was gonna go about it the way I usually do, but now since I kind of got stuck and I wasn't able to jump, I was stuck under a ledge. That happens sometimes if you're just in the wrong position. I fell all the way down, and now the whole level is different because I'm not on the cycles that I know, so now I just kind of gotta improvise and see how everything works out. That's unfortunate, but it happens, and gotta make the best of it.
There's like you saw a checkpoint in there, but he didn't go for it, and often this level can be really scary to go through like that, because it's like probably the longest and hardest level in the run regularly, and people often go for that checkpoint, but that checkpoint loses a ton of time because you can't make the cycle ahead of you then. Thought I should mention that.
Yeah. That if you die somewhere here. I'm gonna take an intentional damage right there just to be able to run through all of this.
Yeah, you could see the invincibility frames there, the effect they had on the bats.
And there's a huge skip here that really only works when you're on the best cycle, but I'm gonna go for it instead anyway and see how that allows me to make these. It will actually, I will be able to make it, but I'm just gonna jump back here. Usually I'd go through the middle, but it doesn't really matter now because I'm not on the best cycle anyway. So that skip, I don't know, it's pretty hard to see at first what it does, but it allows me to jump off that platform there before it disappears for like a good 10 seconds. So if I don't go for the skip, then I, again, lose around 10 seconds. Even though the cycles were completely messed up after I fell down there, I still managed to get here through most of the level without too many issues, and that's actually not normal. I expected this to go a lot worse than it did. I don't know how much worse this is than the possible time that you get when you go on the cycle that is normally gone for, but okay, I'm happy with it.
It was a good level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, you try to manipulate all the cycles up until that place where I said I'd do a skip, and then that allows you to kind of go through without ever stopping.
But
if you don't do that, usually you have to stop and wait for a couple of things.
So coming up here is something that he's gonna try and go for, like a glitch called hyper jump.
Yeah, so Koala Kong, basically, you see he's on the other side of the map. He throws boulders at me. I have to return them to do damage, but that takes a while. So what I try to do instead is clip onto his side of the map, which I need to, first of all, menu a bit for.
So why he's menuing is that he changed this to 30 FPS because this skip works a lot better in 30 FPS than on 60. It's possible on 60, but it's
Nearly impossible.
Nearly impossible, yeah.
Alright, come on.
He's giving you the long cycle there.
I didn't get it now, but I'll go for it a second time. I need a mask for this, and I need to try and ledge myself beneath the rock.
So last try to get this now, I'm trying.
I did actually
and he
get
got
it.
it.
Alright.
Okay, that's
So you
great.
see me on the other side of the map now. You saw me do 2 damage as well. I'm going to switch back to 60 FPS immediately because the movement is actually faster.
So for some reason, when you're on his side, you do double damage to him.
Not always, usually. So basically, I was able to skip 1 turn here by flipping onto his side, and even though I should only be able to damage him with the boulder, I can also spin him. because the game doesn't expect you to be here. There's an invisible wall right where that lava pool is.
There's a timing on when it does double damage, right?
Yeah, there
It's
is, but
consistent, yeah.
it's not entirely consistent.
Okay, okay.
Usually you can manipulate it to do double damage your spin, but sometimes you get unlucky and just a single damage. And,
Okay.
so optimally I would have entered this level with 1 mask, but it also works totally fine with 0. I just have to try and not get hit. Anyway, though, we have now reached Island 3, which is
Also, the
got
skip
the most levels.
the skip he did was very hard. We kind of just so focused on him getting it that we
Yeah.
didn't mention that. It's a very hard skip to do. And
Yeah, it's
just
usually
precise
a break and
timing.
run.
That's all there is
big
to it.
breaking point in the run. If you're gonna get that skip or not.
This level is more or less forgiving. I'm going to try to jump over this guy. I actually made it. It's really easy to get hit there because that red pipe does damage and the robot does damage kind of no matter what. So not getting hit there is very good.
just gonna go for some cycle skips here.
Yeah, as long as you don't really stop in this level, you shouldn't really have a problem catching all these cycles. Basically, I just got to make it past these pipes or these vents that leave out hot air that would damage me. So I have one mask now, pick up the second here, and then pick up the third up here and collect a bunch of boxes. There we go. And
Oh, you
actually
didn't get
didn't
the
land
double
on the...
bounce?
Yeah. Usually I somehow managed to land on that bounce pad and jump up again, but that didn't happen now. It's nice. And then I could go for some things here, but I haven't really managed that in a very long time, so I'm not going to try
Yeah,
for
since-
marathon safety.
Yeah, there's a hot strat you can do there, but using the invincibility of the triple mask to jump on the pipes instead of using the platforms to move around.
So you see him here trying to clip onto the trampolines.
I'm not managing it. There we go. That's the trampolines have hitboxes on their sides, so you can like hug their sides and go up instantly without ever falling down. It's very fast. I didn't quite manage that. I actually fell down twice again. But still a decent heavy machinery. That last part with the jumping pads is actually a huge time difference depending on how fast you can do it. So that cost me a bit. But now that I have 2 masks, I'm going to need to actually avoid the first mask that appears here in Cortex Power. This level includes a couple of cycles that I need to make throughout the beginning. I need to make it past this zapper right here, and then that one as well. I'm not going to pick up that mask because it would give me invincibility, and I don't actually want that invincibility. I want the next one. So then I'm going to jump like right down here, wait for those to pass, jump past this one,
Nice.
and then get this invincibility. There we go. The rest of the level is just trying not to fall into holes. I don't have to worry about any enemies or zappers or anything. Make it onto here. There we go. And I can just run straight through this. And running is so much faster with triple mask, so that's why this is a pretty big time save. I jump over this last Mountain Dew pit and enter the portal.
Take 1 box with you at the end
Exactly.
there.
It's a very short level in comparison to many of the others. Worked quite well, though. Alright. I think we got Gen Room coming up.
Yeah.
That's a scary level. That's also one of the most difficult levels there are. There's a lot of diagonal jumps I'm doing here. A lot of corner cuts.
A lot
Let's
of
see how
jumps.
those goes.
A lot of jumps you would not do in a casual playthrough.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to take an intentional damage there because I really do not want 3 masks in this level. That would really be bad. So that's why I lose 1 because I get a second one. And I just got to make sure to go through it without ever stopping. And the animation of starting the triple mask actually loses too much time here.
The
Here,
first
this is
one
the first
coming
one.
up,
There we
yeah.
go. That's not that bad as long as you don't mess up the inputs. Now I need to jump around this enemy, go forward and then backward. There we go. You gotta jump a bit early here, and here's a very strange one. There we go.
The depth perception there is very weird, at least to me, and I always fail that because of that.
I missed a couple of boxes there for some reason. Now comes probably the biggest looking one, but it's actually not that bad at all. Like jumping all the way across that.
Are you gonna do IL strats here?
Definitely, yeah. So if you are a time trial runner and you only run individual levels like this one, then you would kind of glitch along the side of the map on these pipes here. On the, I don't even know, they're not pipes. They're like,
Engines or something.
yeah, industrial engines.
They have very small hitboxes that you can jump on, and
Yeah,
it's
most of them don't even have anything you can stand on. They damage you, and so you got to get damaged and jump.
oh yeah,
It's pretty crazy.
That's one of those ridiculous strats you won't see in a
Yeah.
speedrun because it's not consistent at all.
It's not speedrun viable.
Yeah.
So I got to carry 2 masks out of this level. That doesn't usually happen to me. I usually somehow manage to get hit in generator room. That was a very good generator room. I made the
Yeah,
cycles I
very
wanted
good.
to. And so that means I get to have a triple mask here, which is very important. It's very easy to mess that up and just not get it. And you lose a good 4 seconds just by not having this, because you can see any time that I can just run forward for a long time with the triple masks can be a time save.
I'm kind of sad that you ruined the soundtrack in this level with the triple mask though, because the
sorry about
soundtrack
that.
is very good in this level.
Yeah, it'll come back in like, yeah, now.
and he also has to avoid these barrels. These barrels cannot be pushed over by the trouble mask.
Yeah, I just gotta jump over them all the time. Now come these bouncing barrels, which just have to jump around basically. You can also try and get under them, but that rarely ever lines up.
Yeah, it's just safer to go around in general.
So the 2 masks I'm carrying right now are actually really important because they allow me to perform the second of the 2 huge skips in this game, in this run. Because until that level, which is coming up in 3 levels, I don't get any more masks. So I need to hold on to these for my dear life. Otherwise, I don't even get the chance to do one of the biggest skips of this game.
And there's a very hard level coming up where it's easy to lose those masks.
Yeah, the second bridge level. First we got
Pinstripe.
Pinstripe, and yeah, you could do some in-depth lore right now if you want to about this beautiful game.
So the lore about this game is that Cortex, the bad guy, tries to create a mutant Bandicoot to lead his army of
Mutants.
yes, basically, and he doesn't succeed with Crash, so Crash becomes like crazy, and he decides to try with the female Bandicoot, which is Tana.
That's
guess you
Crash's
could,
girlfriend.
yeah, I guess you could say Crash's girlfriend. And there's a funny manga that was released, I don't know how long ago, but there's a theory that after this game, Tana runs away with Pinstripe, and that's why we don't see her in Crash 2 or 3.
Yeah, the extended Crash Bandicoot lore.
But
Extended universe.
Yeah.
that isn't really a canon story, but we like to believe it is.
Yeah, Crash has some really deep lore.
Okay, I mean, pretty simple boss fight. I just had to spin him whenever he wasn't shooting at me, essentially. High road, the second bridge level. Hopefully I don't die again like I did in the first one. That was just not a good mistake.
So
I will run a lot more on the ropes here than run on the middle because there's just not good intervals of the platforms, meaning that I'd have to stop a lot. And secondly, because there's a lot of these turtles. And the game expects you to bounce on them to get like extra distance and extra height, but that's really slow. Like your movement speed after bouncing on a turtle is very, very slow in comparison to just your normal movement speed. So I'll stick to the ropes here. Pick up the boxes when I can. I'm gonna stay in the middle here because these intervals are good. I can just keep jumping, doing max height jumps. Try to collect all of those. And then complete the rest of the level on the ropes.
Yeah, and just again, keep in mind that it's not as easy as it makes it out to look to walk on these ropes.
It's got a feeling to it. You got to know how far you can move your character to the right
Yeah.
before he just slips off the other side.
And also just jumping onto them on the first try. It's without slipping off accidentally.
So here, the level that comes up now only has 1 checkpoint. So if he dies, it's gonna be a very costly death.
Well, this includes the biggest skip in the game.
Yeah, the
I'm
super high
considering
jump.
whether to go for the cycle skip. Let's just do it. Why not? Just go all in. So I'm gonna do all this to try and line up to get. Oh goodness. All right. Well, that's fine.
Easy.
No worries. I still have my one mask, and the one mask is very important. That's what I was trying to preserve all this time up until this level.
Yeah, because the skip comes down to damage abuse, basically.
Exactly.
So this is a very hard skip to do. So if he,
Unfortunately, the chance that I'm actually gonna get it is somewhat low,
yeah,
but we'll see.
explain what it is if he doesn't get it.
It's a hyper jump.
It's kind of the same principle as he did on the boss Koala Kong, but just used differently.
Yeah.
So let's try it.
There you go.
Well, I didn't. I got it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was stuck and I died. So I'm gonna have to repeat the entire level.
Yeah.
So,
just-
what was supposed to happen there is that he was gonna use that momentum that he got to go all the way up to the wall, to the top of the wall, and he could just run on the wall all the way to the end of the level instead of waiting for cycles and stuff. But that was kind of like worst case scenario. What happened? He managed to get stuck and not land on anything and just die after that.
Yeah, because when you get the damage abuse, you then have to navigate throughout all the stuff on the way up as well, so you don't get stuck behind it, and yeah, basically try to go around it, and there he just ended up getting stuck, which is unfortunate.
Very difficult.
Yeah, and now he obviously don't have a mask, so he can't attempt it again. So it's a one and done trick, but it saves a lot of time if you get it.
Exactly.
So how it works is that if you spam X, sometimes hold X in Koala, it's hold, when you hit an immovable object with damage abuse, you gain momentum for some reason. I think that's it. You
It's
just get
all-
shot.
It's also kind of because he hits the spike from the bottom, and when you take damage,
Exactly.
the game kind of pushes you up or forces you into a jump. I guess that's the way to say it.
Yeah.
So that's why he gets the upwards momentum from the spike to go all the way to the top. But I guess we get to see the rest of the level now.
Yeah, see me do a cycle skip here. Let's see if I die again. Nope. Barely made it onto that bird.
Good
The birds
job.
have massive hitboxes, though, so that's pretty safe way to go about it. Doing that is going to allow me to catch some easier cycles here. Just some faster cycles, you
Yeah.
know?
So essentially, if you have gotten the skip, he would basically not be doing any of this. He would just be walking on top of the level right here. Basically on top of the screen right now.
Instead I have to wait on this and use the birds, and that's just slow. If I wouldn't have gone for the skip and just would have completed this level, I would have lost about 30 seconds to what it could be when I get the skip first try and get all the way up without any issues. Just one of the two big factors of this run. I think the other one being the koala one. It's about a minute in total, between like 40 and 60 seconds that they can make a difference. Alright, anyway, that brings us to kind of the final group of levels here. Lights Out is, as the name suggests, kind of a darkness level. The masks that I carry...
It's a gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the level has a gimmick to it where essentially the level is completely dark, but when he has a mask, it lights up.
So that means if I get hit by something, then I will have absolutely no more vision at all, so I won't be able to see anything. So I'm going to try to avoid that.
There's
Level's
not
rather short.
much to this otherwise, so
Exactly.
maybe we can push in like
Yeah, sure.
2 donations.
If there's any, go for it.
Most certainly. We have $25 from Anonymous. It says, greetings from sunny Florida, US. Thanks for all the fun runs so far, and here's to more great runs to come. We also have $7 from Anonymous. It says, pretty good, Trino. Pretty good.
Have a small clue who that could be from.
Yeah. I guess the one difficult part about this level is trying to get past these swinging blades without getting hit by them. And I got hit by them.
Yeah, so now you can see he has completely no vision. And that's...
A rat spawned inside
Yeah.
of me. That's fine.
Game is perfect.
It's probably better that I got hit there and collect this mask now, because then I get to like show off something in the next level, which I wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah. This is not the worst.
Yeah, I ran into the wall there a bit. I didn't hold like forward properly, and so that's why I was. Usually I would make it past this one right here. I'm just gonna wait now so that doesn't happen again. And then these rats here actually killed me because they spawned. One of them spawned like right when I was on top of it, and I wasn't anticipating that. I spun the first two. They spawn in groups of 3. I killed the first 2. The third one spawned on top of me and killed me, so I had to repeat that level or part of it basically. But now that I carried a mask out of it, I get 1 here by default, and then I'll collect a second one, and that's going to allow me to do 2 skips in Jaws of Darkness. It's a pretty long level as well. It's got a couple of things to it, but none of them are nearly as difficult as some of the others in this game, in this run. First, I just do a little corner jump here. Diagonal jump, collect that second mask, try to get all the 4 boxes. I'm gonna wait on this fire. Really don't want to get hit by that by jumping in too early.
This is probably my worst level in the run.
It actually is for me as well.
Yeah.
This is usually where I die 10 times in a row. I'm not really good at Crash 1 at all.
The thing is that there's no checkpoint up until like another while, so if you die anywhere here, you have to repeat the entire level. It's just a big time loss.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump into this fire here and just jump over to the next platform because it's very slow waiting on that, and I don't need these masks or anything, so I'm just gonna try to complete this level as fast as possible using those 2 masks. The reason why I wanted 2 and not just 1 to get past that is because there's a second damage abuse where I go past the fire coming up here, and that's actually really cool. And I don't think I can make that because I just hesitated, so I'll just wait.
I don't think it was worth going for that one.
Yeah,
No.
definitely not.
Didn't seem that way. Sometimes the platform decides not to move also.
Yeah, so I'll get hit by the snake, then actually jump over and run through the fire with my iframe, barely making that.
And the snake even took out a lot of boxes as well.
Exactly, so it's like a really worst thing to do. And then if I had, well, there's a thing I can do where it preserves my first mask, the first one that I used at the very beginning of the level, and I could have damaged through that last fire as well, but
So it's Castle now, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
castle machine.
So here comes the reason for why he collected the green gem very
First,
early in the run.
But first we get about 100 boxes on Crash's poor back. This level has some secret and unlockable sections which just include very many boxes for full completion, so that's why I have to sit through and watch this poor Bandicoot for quite some time. Not much I can do about that. Yeah, you remember Lost City, how I got all the boxes to collect the gem? That gem unlocks this platform right here, which I'm about to jump into. That one right there, and you see the exit portal on the right. If I did this level normally, I'd have to go like all the way around. Now I just do this. Simple enough.
Yep. And that's that.
Got some boxes here, but not that many. I believe it's 27 if I remember.
Yeah, and even getting the green gem is like a minute faster than just doing both the levels
And,
without boxes, right?
Now comes my favorite boss. Has a cool thing to it, which will be shown off later. It's
Yeah, the second phase of the fight has a pretty cool trick to basically skip the fight, essentially.
But at first, he throws 2 types of vials at me. One's just one's the purple one, which he's throwing right now. It's just explosive. The second one's these green ones, which spawn blobs. I need to jump on top of those in order to damage him. There we go. Now he's gonna throw 3 purple vials that I just need to walk out of the way of. And now he's gonna throw 3. I'm not gonna stand in that corner. That actually manipulates where he throws them. Okay.
oof.
Wow.
Sometimes the
Ouch.
the vials are a bit
Questionable.
yeah, and they can be hard to hit, and they have like, I don't know, I think they're like weird hitboxes in terms of like that it's easy to get a hit on them like you did there. But now we get to see this beautiful fight again. I think it's a really cool fight, and I wish this boss was in 2 and 3. It just kind of dips out of the game.
I did a little swag walk there. That was for Duke.
I mean, not to bring up the lore again, but he is technically in the second game.
Yeah, not as a boss.
True.
My goodness, can I jump on top of this guy? Thank you. All right. Usually I can get that all in one try, but the third one tends to land randomly. So sometimes I just don't make that jump, and I don't want to risk it by doing a blind jump.
Oh,
Because the first time I died to that. So now he turns into a pseudo Hulk, and I have to jump on top of his head 3 times, but I can also just stay standing on top of his head like this, and then hit him whenever his hitbox becomes available. The game doesn't really like this, I think, because the wall behind him is supposed to break when he falls through it. He doesn't just phase through the wall. It doesn't now, though, so probably telling us that we did something wrong.
And now there's really only one level left, and then Cortex. Right?
yes.
Yeah.
Or there's 2 levels, but one of them is a short one.
We've got the lab, which is the last normal level, last platforming level. I'm going to try to catch a cycle here. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward, just running, not getting hit by zappers.
Yeah, and using the boxes to open or activate the floors.
Exactly. I have to hit these,
Floor/door.
try to jump there as soon as possible to
Hidden
save
TNT
time.
in there, yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch out not to spin that TNT.
There are a few of those hidden TNTs where it's like in a stack of boxes where it just feels so good to spin them, but if you do, you're just gonna die.
Yeah.
It's like sneaky.
It's the game teaching you to be cautious.
Oh, this guy is...
Oh,
what?
nice.
that happens sometimes. Don't worry about it. I'm sure he's fine.
I've never seen that actually.
Me
I
neither.
barely made it. So that zapper right there was the cycle I wanted to make, and I barely made it, so kind of happy about that.
It's nice, good cycles.
Yeah. Then I might as well go for this.
Oh,
Oh, I'm not gonna make it.
oh yeah, that was too short.
You can bounce off the TNT right onto the other side, but I realized I wouldn't make it, so I.
That was a really
I
good-
pulled back.
A really good lab.
Yeah, just a very solid lab. That's
But,
the cycle you want to make, and it's always roughly the same time.
For the TNT, I'm gonna quote a good friend of us. I thought you said the other day that it was free.
It is. Great Hall. It's kind of like castle machinery. Not very challenging. This is the level that rewards you for collecting all the gems. It gives you a secret, like a secret at the end of it if you collect all the gems. We didn't though, so we don't get that.
You still
reward.
have to go through it in any percent.
Yeah.
And
You still have to go just to the end.
final fight with Cortex.
I want to say that this fight has great soundtrack.
It also has perfect hitboxes.
Yes, the hitboxes are just pristine. Never have to worry about them.
Sometimes the hitboxes go. So the thing is that he shoots purple orbs and blue orbs and green. Green ones are the one that he can deflect back, and he has to do that a certain amount of times. And what we were talking about the hitboxes is that the former world record holder of this category, Cameron Vengeance, once had a record pace run where he tried, where he got hit by a completely obscure hitbox, and it got made into a popular clip.
Yeah, these orbs can basically, touch you even though you're really far away from them. Especially in this segment right here where he does some rapid fire stuff. Try to jump over that. Here's where it gets kind of scary. That one right there, but I managed to get past it. And now can you get ready for the time? As soon as the last green orb hits him, it's gonna be at the end. There we go. Alright.
GG.
Alright, am I doing Stormy?
I don't think
That
so.
is, I'm gonna try to get through this quickly because this game does not, it ignores my audio settings in some of the cutscenes, so it just goes to full volume. That's why
Yeah.
it was so loud there.
So
Sorry about that.
the incentive was not met, right?
No.
Alright.
We ended up at $38, but thanks for all your donations anyway.
Right.
So
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I was really nice. I hope that was a nice portrayal of this run. wasn't a perfect run, but I got through most of the difficult parts. I'm glad about that. Thank you to my 2 people for helping me out with some of the parts where I had to concentrate, and of course, a big shout out to the community of the people that run this. They're all really cool, and we have a new Discord set up if you're interested in running this. It's you can find it through speedrun.com. Shout out to all the people that have done so much for this game. It's really a great speedrun and a great community. So thank you so much. That's all we have to say, unless you guys have something else to add.
Nope. Thank you.
Enjoy the
That's
rest of the
good run.
marathon.
Enjoy.
Yeah, good luck to all the coming runs.
Hello, welcome back to ESA Winter. I'm
Hello.
Charisse.
And I might go.
You just watched Crash Bandicoot Sane Trilogy Crash 1 Any % on PC by triggerino1.
And next up will be Total Overdose Any % on PC by Tesuro. A good friend of mine, I might say. And yeah, that should be a good run. And I think the Crash Bandicoot just now was also a really good run.
Yeah.
Always a fun game to watch, lots of stuff going on. And yeah, we've also had a couple donations. There were quite a few donations coming in during the game. Unfortunately, not enough to meet the donation goal, but well, it does happen sometimes. We were $62 short. And anyway, we have a $60 donation by BWYRM. Shout out to all Jake, Marvin, and all the people in Jake Court. Oh.
You can just say worm.
Worm? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
No? I don't know.
I'm not
probably
sure.
saying it wrong. Never mind.
You?
Hmm?
You want to read more donations?
Yeah, I can read one. We have Legendary Marvin donated $65 saying shout out to Worm who out-donated me. Second shout out to DDR Jake and the other guys at chat. So thank you guys so much for your donations. That's really
And
kind.
DDR Jake is actually a streamer and a game developer
Oh.
for a Swedish company called Paradox Interactive. And he's the head developer of Europa Universalis. And if you're watching, Jake, I used to watch your Europe Universalis streams. Thank you. And thanks
You a
for all
big
the
fan?
donations. Well, not a big fan, but you know.
A fan. Okay.
So thanks for all the donations, and I hope you guys are having a great time. And yeah, Total Overdose, any % by Tesoro should start any second, and we'll give you guys back to the room cam.
Yeah.
So
You can watch everyone having fun playing some board games.
yes, have a great time.
Bye.
Bye.